What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Maliko Boost back with a first time kind of like trial thing. So after I feed my dog for the second time today, I saw a TikTok. Somebody sent me a TikTok that, because you know, people know I'm the radar slash police slash speeding ticket guy slash fight that shit in court and embarrass the police in court type of thing. Even if I lose in court, I'm gonna put your ass on YouTube type of thing. So I saw a TikTok today. And that TikTok was, I'm gonna die back here, breathing in this exhaust. Boy, this Dodge Charger running rich, you feel me? Anyway, the TikTok said that you can use a stud finder to interfere, block. Come on, if you ready to eat, boy. Any damn way. The TikTok says you can use a stud finder. Now, he just said it. In my opinion, I feel like that's a trap because modern day police radar, the stalkers, probably the B3, that radar, I think it can actually give the police officer a warning or an error message anytime you interfere with police radar. A lot of y'all, the reason I have never tried to jam police radar is because you're actually interfering with something that's regulated by the FCC. Dude, you have no idea how complex that type of stuff is. The modern day police radars are able to relay a message to the police anytime their equipment is being interfered with. And if you do your research, I'll post a screenshot, but if you do your research and it's almost up there with the same charge you can get for impersonating a police officer. Yes, you can drive a police car. No, you may not drive it with the words police, 911, emergency, first responder, or have any lights or sirens on it. You can't even have the PA system hooked up. So, and contrary to what people believe, Aniston did leave that thing in the back. You can see it behind the grill. They left the siren back there, but I can't wire that back up. I mean, I can. I could if I wanted to. But, you know, I can't go around messing with people with that because it falls under the same. That's why there's tape on this, because behind that it's 911. So you can't, yes, you can drive a police car. No, you cannot impersonate a police officer. Yes, you can have a radar detector, but no, you cannot interfere with or jam police radar. But out of curiosity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find 2 different stud finders. And I have 2 radar detectors in the car. I'm going to find one of those radar speeds because I'm not going to actually try it on a real police's radar gun. Because the last thing I want to do is catch a charge for interfering with police radar. Dude, that's a felony. Like, you're interfering with radio. You're interfering with something that's regulated by federal communications. It's not like LiDAR. You can jam laser. It's not regulated by the FCC or whatever it is, but laser is regulated by the FDA, which is the Food and Drug, because they use laser for skin, they use laser for stuff like that. So it's regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. Radar, on the other hand, is regulated by the FCC or Federal Communications. So the only people that are capable of jamming radar are the government, the army, the armed forces, the military, because they're able to intercept, not literally intercept, but they're able to intercept enemy radar systems. They can actually jam enemy radar, but you cannot jam a police's radar. But just to see if this is going to work or not, I haven't tried this to see if this is going to work. I'm about to go find some stud finders, and we're finna drive up to one of those stationary K-band. I'm gonna go to 2 different ones. There are, because you can't, there's 2 in Aniston. There's one on the Aniston bypass, and then there's one by the Lowe's in Aniston. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a stud finder. I'm going to unlock the stored stationary, non-threatening radar source alerts on my radar detector, because they've actually, after you go by them so many times, or after you go by them the first time and the signal is not, it picks it up as it being stationary, or it's in a certain frequency that is not real, it'll lock it out immediately. Like, you won't even have to do anything. A lot of people have radar detectors that will sing every time you go past the store, every time you get up next to a new car, and then by the time you get next to a police officer that's actually using K-band, you're going to ignore it because you're so used to ignoring K-band. But the type of radar detectors I have in my Dodge Charger Pursuit are actually so advanced that they will lock, this cold as shit in here, that they will lock out those signals. As you can see, I have 2 different radar detectors. I don't run both of them at the same time. I do have, the only reason I still have this one, which is the Escort IXC, these are radar detectors. This one is the Uniden R7. This is the Escort IXC plus the M1 dash cam. So we're going to be going up a legitimate radar. We're going to be going up against a legitimate radar. So, well, I'm not going to say legitimate radar source, but we're going to be going up against an actual radar source. But it will not be a radar source that will translate me trying to interfere with them or jam, block, interfere, give them a false reading, whatever you want to call it. I will not be going up against a real stalker or custom signals or B3 or Raptor RP1 or custom signals Golden Eagle. I won't be going up against a real radar source that is actually threatening. So but for this test, I will be turning on both radar detectors for this test. I usually run mine literally just like this. I run the Uniden by itself. The only reason this is still here is just for the dash camera, and I'm actually going to end up selling this one, you know, if somebody's serious about it. But for this test, I'm going to turn both of them on. I'm also going to be turning the sensitivity up. Yes, both of these radar detectors have variable sensitivity or adjustable. That one is adjustable based off of user setting. So city mode is the least sensitive setting for K-band, X-band, but Ka-band is always 100% unless you go in your settings and you adjust it. But I would advise you not to do that because you will not get Ka-band falses. This one is, it varies its sensitivity not only by the user, but it varies it based off of your speed versus the speed limit if you have it connected to your vehicle's in-car Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth Escort Live app, which then feeds the radar signal to other Escort users when they get within 1,000 to 5,000 feet of that radar source, which is very useful because that instant on is a motherfucker. So, but for this test, we're going to be
auto no at auto low K highway.
I'm turning the sensitivity up.
Menu.
City.
Advanced. Highway.
Highway on any radar detector is the most sensitive setting. So we're going to drive towards a legitimate radar source, and we're going to, I want you to see that, yes, I'm going up against a radar source. It will be K-band though. I'm going to go get 2 stud finders, and we're going to test this shit out because I got to be the first person to make a YouTube video on this so I can go viral before anybody else does. Because I already went viral off of making a YouTube video in the first place. So I'm finna damn slam this thing and take the brake off. Put your damn seatbelt on. Let me put my seatbelt on. You're going to hear it click like this. Okay, we're going to head to Lowe's. At the stop sign, turn right on Lin-Lot Lane. It's actually raining out here. Like, it just rained. So I can't just, I got to wait till I get to an acceptable speed. And then we're going to let that interceptor talk. That's that interceptor. The interceptor. In my favorite interceptor. Yep. I'm almost at Lowe's though. I'm almost there. And consequently, I won't have to work too hard for this because Aniston, the Department of Aniston has they have placed a K-band speed sign on the 24.11. This, like, my radar detector is picking up on it right now. I'm not even in front of it. Now I am. There it is. Okay. They have placed a K-band or K-band. They've placed a K-band speed sign right in front of Lowe's. So I shouldn't have to go too far. I'm not finna walk in the rain though. And I'm gonna pull right up here to the front door. 34. That's Jacksonville. 578. Now that is a legitimate radar source. That is that Jacksonville 2011 to 2014 Dodge Charger Pursuit. I might have to find him. You know what I'm saying? He's around here somewhere. You know, sometimes they come from other areas. You know, I'm gonna park my car right here. Now that's a legitimate radar source. That ain't what we want to test this out on. I ain't finna. And yes, I know you think that's not real, but I can literally show you where his radar has. Oh, there he goes. 34577.
Front Ka band 34577.
7. So weird because, like, there was a cop right there. That was a Calhoun County sheriff. That wasn't his radar, though. That is the only police car in this whole area that has a stalker radar that does not properly emit in the 34.7 gigahertz frequency. So it probably wouldn't even, I don't think it's gonna work. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's gonna work. But I am not gonna find out if it works by catching front
KA band 34577.
Where is he at? Like, that's real. That's a real radar signal because his antenna read like 34588, 34592, 34580, 34582. But his front one will properly read
34576.
Look at that angry Dodge Charger Pursuit. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And there goes the sign right there. It's literally reading people's sign. It's reading people's speed right now. It's reading people's speed right now. We're gonna put it on highway.
Highway.
Yeah. We finna test this out, boys. And yeah. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna drive towards this K-band speed sign. I'm going to unlock the signal.
Delete mute memory. Mute memory deleted. Rear K-band.
Yep. But, oh fuck, I dropped it. All right, I'm turning around. I am turning around. All right, the Uniden is picking up on it. The Escort is too. It's just got it locked out.
Unlocked.
All right, well, I've unlocked it. Both of them are going off right now. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go way down here. All right. It's picking up on it.
Mute memory deleted. Unlocked. Delete. Mute memory deleted. Unlocked.
The Escort knows it's false. It knows it's not a real K-band. As far as the Uniden does too, they keep locking the signal out.
Mute memory deleted.
All right. Both of these are high-end radar detectors, so it's kind of hard. See, like, they keeps locking it out. Keeps locking it out.
Mute memory deleted.
All right, this is about as far as I can go where it can be enforceable. It is raining. All right, I'm gonna get in the turning lane and I'm gonna turn around. Right? We're gonna see. I'm gonna push this dang stud button. All right. There's also one ahead of me, which I could go to that one first. Stay here. I'm gonna go to that one first.
Delete mute memory. Mute memory deleted.
All right. So picking up on the K-band. It's freaking raining. All right. I'm gonna put my speed at the speed limit or somewhere close to it at least. It's locking it out.
Delete.
I keep having to delete it.
Deleted.
Now, when I get up on this, I'm gonna push this button. All right. When I push this button, we want to see if it's gonna read my speed or not. All right. There's a lot to do at one time.
Delete. Mute memory deleted. Unlocked.
I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it. It's reading my speed.
Delete. Mute memory deleted.
So that was a myth. All right, we're gonna turn around. These people are driving with their brights on. That is such a lie. That is such a lie. That is such a lie. Like I said, all right, I'm gonna turn around and go to the other one. Getting a little slippage right there, a little traction control right there. All right. So I'm picking up on that sign that's on the other side of the road over there before I even get to it. Look, I'll even go so far as to go over to the sign. Oh, shit. All right. I'm going to walk over to the sign. I'm going to be bold when I do it. But I'm going to walk over to the sign. You see this? Look. All right. I'm going to get over here. Out the way. Traffic is coming. Well, traffic was coming. But, see, I'm pushing it. I got to wait till traffic comes. Got to wait till traffic comes. Okay, here comes some people. I'm going to push the button. It's a myth. It's a myth. It's a myth. All right, here comes some more traffic. Huh. Or maybe it did just, because both of them cars just went by, it didn't read anything. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. Wait till traffic comes. Here comes traffic. Here comes, I'm pushing the button. I'm pushing the button. I'm pushing the button. I'm pushing the button. Nothing's happening. It's a myth. Maybe they did slow down. Or maybe that was the, okay. They probably slowed down because they saw my car, but that's irrelevant. It's a myth. Something died over here. I smell it. That's a myth. That's a myth on that sign. All right. Bonkers. Bonkers. Still picking up on the sign behind me now. Now we're headed towards the other one. It should pick up on that one here real soon. Like I said, with my cruise control back on, I have relocked that signal out after I manually overridden the built-in false alert filtration on both the radar detectors, which is actually harder to do. It is harder to unlock them once they lock them out, because once they realize that it's false, or once they immediately pick up on a false alert and they realize it's false, they're going to keep it locked out. Because all right, this is the rear one. All right, lock that one back out. Cool. Now we're picking up on the front one. The arrow has flipped around. We're picking up on the other one. Up.
Okay, found.
All right, I'm going to unlock
Delete.
it.
Mute memory deleted.
All right. I'm going to be pushing this button the whole damn time. I'm going to put my cruise control right at 55. Well, the light just changed colors. I'm pushing the button. I'm going 50. And it's reading, 40, it's reading right at how fast I'm going. So that's a myth on that one too, because I was going 50. This is actually harder to do than you think, because I'm doing like 5 things at one time. But I am in fact maintaining my lane. That is a myth. The only thing that does is when I move across it, and that's probably because there are antennas in there. Same thing with this one. I wonder if it does it if I turn it off. Okay. Oh. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's one of them situations where it's like, you can't trust everything you see on the internet. I'm backing back up at my house, and I'm put the brake on, and this is what's gonna make the most sense by me saying this. All right. If it was capable of jamming police radar, it would have to be able to, on the fly, number one, change how it interferes with different bands and frequencies of radar signals. So it would have to be able to jam K-band on the fly, KA band on the fly, X band on the fly. It would have to be able to jam every form of police radar on the fly. And you're going to have to be faster at pushing the button than they are at pushing that button on that remote or squeezing the trigger on the radar gun. If that makes sense, it should make sense. Also, by me pushing that button, it would set off every nearby radar detector within a detectable distance of me pushing that button, including the one in my car or the ones that are in my car. So, and the reason I say that is because, let's say for instance, a cop's front antenna is outputting 34,740, right? Or 34,717. Okay, when I push the button on that stud finder, it has to emit exactly 34,740 or 34,717. You get what I'm saying? 34,720. It would have to emit exactly that, because the Doppler shift happens when it bounces off of an object and it does not receive the same exact output frequency back. So if it's outputting, let's say his rear antenna, 34,666. Ooh, if it's outputting that, or 34,588, or 35,478, and his front antenna is outputting 35,501, 35,508, then that stud finder would have to be able to emit exactly 35,508 right back to his antenna, and there wouldn't be a Doppler shift. But you do also have to understand this. Radar is so sophisticated nowadays. He wouldn't even have to put his radar in the strongest, fastest mode. Basically meaning the fastest moving object in traffic, or the largest object in traffic, is where the radar is going to direct the signal towards. Does that make sense? So you do have to understand that a stud finder is much smaller and much less of an attractive object than a car. Like a stud finder is basically the size of a phone, smaller than an iPad. So the radar signal is going to bounce off of the car because it's a larger object than. You have to understand how radar works. Like, it's very sophisticated. You have to understand how radar works in order to actually defeat it. And the only way to actually defeat radar is to have something that is faster than the radar. You have to have, that's why I keep telling people, don't buy an expensive radar detector just because it costs $750. If you want to defeat police radar and get out of speeding tickets, the first thing you need to do is modulate how fast you drive. Don't be the fastest moving object in traffic. Stay your ass out the left lane unless you're passing. You can't pass in the right lane because you make yourself as much of a target as driving in the left lane. The right lane should never be moving faster than the left lane, but if you're always driving in the left lane, you're not going to defeat police radar. Number two, get a damn radar detector and don't just buy any radar detector. Uniden. There is no better radar detector out there. Yeah, you got the Valentines and the Redensos, but none of those radar detectors are announcing not only the direction of the radar signal, they're calling out every antenna that they're coming in contact with to the exact frequency. And then, should that frequency be overpowered by another frequency, you're going to know, because it's going to give you a bogey tone. Then it's going to call out that radar antenna's frequency. And if it keeps switching back and forth, or if you're being faced with more than one radar threat or more than one police officer sitting somewhere, it's going to announce that to you too. So if you're getting hit from the front with a 35,499, and then from the rear with a 33,799, guess what? It's going to call it out. That's how you defeat police radar. Then, to even defeat it when they're not using their radar or a LiDAR, put the Waze app on your phone. 9 times out of 10, somebody already saw him sitting in that spot. They marked him. And then if somebody has an escort, Where escort comes in to make up for their sorry ass detection. I love escort. I went viral off of an escort. But an escort can take up to 5 seconds to respond to a police's radar. You know how fast uniteds respond? 0.2. He's not going to be able to turn it on and read a speed in 0.2 seconds. The unit is already alerting you at full blast. Like, he's not going to be able to turn that thing on, lock the speed that you're going, and then turn it back off so it doesn't pick up, you know, because they try to turn it on and off so fast that radar detectors don't pick up on it, specifically because of my videos. But it doesn't work that way. Your fingers can't move that fast. You can't lock a speed in that fast, and you damn sure can't put your car in fast enough. That's why it's important to have a radar detector that is capable of responding faster than the police officer himself, because you can press the brakes faster than he can lock onto your speed. Like, if you watch my "Are radar detectors still useful" video, you will see that TAR State Trooper sitting on the bypass. Number one, I had a rabbit car. It depends on how you drive too. Stay in the right lane as much as you can. Stay in the middle lane as much as you can if you want to defeat police radar. If you're speeding in traffic, make sure you're not the only one speeding. Don't ever try to be the fastest and first moving object in traffic. That's how you're going to defeat police radar. You're going to get an alert, yes. You're going to get scared thinking he clocked you. No, he clocked the person in front of you that's going faster than you. So if you pay attention to that video, that Taurus was finna go after that damn Super Duty who was driving the left lane doing about 90 on the bypass, because I was doing not 65. I'll put it to you that way. I was not doing 65. I was doing a little bit more than 65. I'm not gonna tell you how fast I was going, but that state trooper was finna go after his ass until that Super Duty flashed his rear lights, which it was an undercover cop. He put his car back in gear and ignored him, because, you know, they're allowed to speed. They can drive however fast they want to. The laws don't apply to them. So if you want to defeat police radar, you got to have 3 things. And one of them is not a physical having. It's a position in traffic. The first thing, a radar detector. The second thing, which goes along with the first thing, knowledge of how police radar works and how radar detectors work and what frequencies to listen for and look for. What bands to look for and listen for. Number 2, you need to have Waze on your phone. Number 3, stay your ass out the left lane and don't be the fastest moving person in traffic. It is normally everybody's first instinct to want to race everybody that tries to pass them. Okay, but you need to stay behind them and within a reasonable distance behind them too, because that cop might not even be looking for speeders. He might be looking for folks that's following too close. So your ass might not get a speeding ticket, you might get a following too close ticket. So if you want to defeat police radar and defeat police thinking and logic, don't be the fastest moving object in traffic, bro. And then if you get stopped for speeding because you bought a sorry ass radar detector, take that shit off your window, because when he comes to your window, he might come to your window with the intent to give you a warning, but then he sees that shit and he's like, oh, you remember I also said in that video that having a radar detector is like this to a cop. Yeah, so a stud finder is not going to work. A radar jammer is not going to work, because a radar jammer is actually going to be emitting whatever band of radar that radar jammer is designed to make. Speaking of which, they don't make radar jammers because radar jammers are illegal. No company in the world, in the United States or Canada, is allowed to manufacture or produce a radar jammer. You can have 12 radar detectors on your windshield all on at the same time. They're going to interfere with each other. None of them are allowed to interfere with police radar. He's still going to read your speed if you got 13 or 12 of them on your window. Doesn't matter. And he's going to read it with no problem. Why? Number one, because any interference that they have fighting with each other on your windshield, trying to pick up the signal first, and then trying to filter out the false alerts, and then trying to tell which direction the radar source is coming from, they're going to be fighting with each other. But they are not allowed under any circumstances to interfere with police radar, because if they manufacture something like that, they can get sued and shut down. And then if you get caught with that shit, your ass is subject to a $10,000 fine, or I think it's a certain amount of years of imprisonment. So I suggest you try not to jam police radar. Detection, yes. Jamming, interference, no. And that, my friend, is just the bottom line. You have your answer. It doesn't work. It's bullcrap. That guy on TikTok is probably a real cop, and they're out here trying to find out I don't know. That was a trap. That's all I see. It was a trap. That's it. That is what you call entrapment. That is absolutely entrapment. Entrapment is not when a cop is sitting with his lights off. That's your ass not paying attention to the road, and probably because you don't have LED lights and you didn't see it reflecting off the back of his vehicle, whether he has reflectors or not. That's not entrapment. That's you doing something wrong and then you get caught. But entrapment is when somebody in the government is insisting that you do something wrong and then charging you for doing exactly what they were insisting and provoking you to do. So I suggest you not do that shit. Because if you get lucky and you get a hold of a stud finder that is actually capable of doing that, in my test, it didn't happen. I tested on 2 different speed signs. Didn't work. I don't need to do any further testing. So, yeah, it doesn't freaking work. So, yeah, I'm out of here.